Hello everyone, welcome back to my studio, and if you're new here, welcome to my studio. My name is Rihanna, or you can call me Seren, and today I wanted to talk about finding time for art when you have a lot of different obligations. So it's been a while since I uploaded a video. Last month, I didn't do much art at all. In April, I got so excited about making art again and posting to social media and starting a Patreon that I kind of burnt myself out by doing too much too quickly on top of all of my other obligations. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. It is so hard finding a balance that works for you because everybody's different. There are people who can make art every single day and draw all day and be totally fine. And then there are people who only draw like once a week. And of course, this also depends on like how busy you are, like what obligations you have. But even so, there are people who anytime they have an ounce of free time, they're drawing. But then other people, they really need to kind of relax and unwind after a stressful day. And I think I fall somewhere in between that. For me, I tend to think of tasks on a week by week basis rather than day by day. I think if I only thought of my schedule as day by day, like what I need to do every single day, all of my days would be absolutely filled to the brim, and that would just be way too overwhelming for my brain. So even if I'm thinking about it week by week, my schedule is still filled every day, but I'm not focused on every single thing. I work full time, and I'm also taking care of my toddler 3 days out of the work week, all day, most weeks. And I also need to find time somewhere in there to exercise, to cook, to clean my house, etc., etc. So if I made a to-do list every single day, it would be overwhelming. And I think I would just be setting myself up for failure, which I have done so many times in the past. So what I've been doing instead is trying to prioritize things on a weekly basis. I still don't always succeed, especially since life is unpredictable. Like, for instance, I'm sorry if I sound congested, but I got sick yet again. But still, it's a lot more freeing to only need to hard focus on one type of task each week, like finish all the laundry or complete this painting. There's some things that are still always going to be a priority, and I will always do my best to find time for them. These are things like spending quality time with my family and exercising. And unfortunately, that means doing art needs to fall behind sometimes. And I hate that, but just because it's not my main priority doesn't mean I can't find time to do art when I want to do it. It just means that some days I'm gonna have to wait until my kid is sleeping and just suck it up and draw, even if I'm really tired and I just want to play a video game. But I think it's also important not to think of everything you do as something productive. It's okay to not be productive. Like, it's okay for your priority to just be play a new video game that you got and you're excited about as much as possible for a week before getting back into the tasks that you need to do. In fact, I recently deleted Instagram and Twitter because of this need to feel productive all the time. I just felt like I constantly needed to push out content, and I think my art progress was suffering because of it. I plan on getting into this more in a different video, but just the stress of feeling like you need to post every single day is not conducive to a good mental state at all. And as a disclaimer, I'm not trying to build a career through my art, so I know my views on things are probably different from people who are trying to build a career through their art. I do have a Patreon, and thank you to my super duper awesome patrons, but there's just no need for me to put that pressure on myself to create content for social media constantly. I still want to make art as much as possible, but as much as possible doesn't always mean every day or even every week. And that's something that I'm slowly becoming okay with because I have to be okay with it. Not to get all philosophical, but life isn't all about min-maxing your productivity and skills to get as far as you possibly can until you die. So my plan is to just progress with my art at a pace that's sustainable with everything else I have going on, and that's okay. But with my thoughts on productivity and finding time for art amid everything, with that all out of the way, let's talk about the actual art piece. So this is a jellyfish, as hopefully you can tell. The theme for this month's Patreon is Ocean Sparkle, and I painted something for Mermay last month, and it was going to be a video, but I didn't like how the filming turned out, and I'm not a super big fan of the piece itself. It just didn't really turn out exactly how I wanted it to, which, rarely happens, but just in general, I wasn't feeling it as a video, so I decided not to post it after all. But I still wanted to do something ocean themed and sparkly for Ocean Sparkle. So I decided on this jellyfish. I saw a picture of a jellyfish with a bunch of little white fish in the tentacles. And I don't know if the fish do that as protection or what. I should probably look into that. But I just thought it looked really pretty, and it just reminded me of, it just looked really, I don't know, it gave me a very ethereal feeling. So I wanted to paint it. So I used watercolor and a little bit of gouache and colored pencil, and then I finished everything off with some Posca pens. And although I didn't have a very strong idea of what colors I wanted to use, I knew that I wanted it to be colorful because everything I draw has to be colorful. But I'm actually really happy with how the background turned out especially. I love the texture that the watercolor created, and I think that's something that I want to do more going forward in my paintings, where the background is just very splotchy like that. I just think it looks so cool. I love the texture. So I'm happy that I kind of experimented. I don't think that's what I intended on doing. I think maybe in my mind I had a more smooth gradient going on from the blue to purple to pinkish, but that obviously didn't happen. But I'm totally okay with that. I think it looks awesome. So happy accident. But yeah, I guess there really isn't that much to say about this. It's a jellyfish, and there's a lot of sparkles, and yeah, that's really just it. There's not a whole lot going on in this piece. But you know what? They don't always have to be complicated, do they? But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you enjoy the artwork. Let me know your thoughts on being productive, on feeling the need to be productive all the time, especially if you post your art online. I just would really like to know your thoughts on everything. But I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thank you so much to my Sugar Star Galaxy members, Cup of Leo, Harry Hamster, Subside, Nene, Mikey, and Gumi. You guys are super, super awesome, and I really appreciate your support.